soda fountain. Now this goes way back to Depot Street. When I lived down there in 38, the water came right up to the foot of the house and the tree fell across the house. That was a 1938 hurricane. Okay, that's what it looked like. Awnings used to come out. I used them for years until they wore out. But there was two entrances to the building. And if you looked real close, you'd see where a can of peas was 10 cents. And ridiculous prices. You could shop for $10 a week for 3 people. That's a young man, David Jeffries, that showed me how to cut meat. He went to work for the Grand Union over to Peterborough. So then he came back. Do you know him?
Yeah, I worked at Grand Union.
Oh, you did?
62.
Oh, yeah.
I think I was 60 there.
I didn't know you worked. I thought you were in the banking business.
I worked there 2 years and then retired.
This was a parade, I think it's 1964. That was 5 years into my business. There's a pretty good crowd on Main Street. There's Dave Jeffries again. I'm on the back cooking hamburgers in front of the town hall. I'm in Florida. My family. Oh, I lucked out. I was always lucky. Anyway, I was janitor of the town hall. Hadley Allison died, and Frank Wheeler was a selectman, and Frank and I were pretty good friends, and my store was right next to the town hall, and the furnace in the town hall had to be serviced every day with water during the cold season because it was a hot water system, and they didn't have an automatic refill, so I had to go over and fill it. And I only got paid once a year from the town, so when I got paid, I'd go to Florida in the wintertime, take my whole family. You could take the kids out of school in those days, and you can't do that today, I don't think. We'd go for a month, and this was my help. This is my sister-in-law, Mary Ellen, Bobby Wood, the Wood family, half a dozen of them. This is Janet Gilmore, Janet Topping, the Topping family. And so they sent me that picture in Florida. Oh, here's another story. There's a parking lot over by the store, and there were two, that's one of the buildings right there. And there was another building right here. Everett Davis owned it, and I purchased, all I had was about five parking lots in front of my store, and I needed more if I was going to get more business. And so I bought this building and I bought that building. And I tore this building down. This was 1972, I believe. And I bought this building and I tore that one down. Smith Harriman and John Drake came in. And we bulldozed them all over into the corner. Way in the back of the second building, we bulldozed them over there. There was no rules in those days. You could do what you wanted to do. I didn't pay much attention anyway. Here's another. This is one I tore down. Guy Hollis used to own these buildings. And tore them all down, pushed them over into the corner, and we burned them right on Main Street.
I remember some lady that lived in one of them houses that you picked out of there.
Yeah.
Before you burn it down.
When I moved in, you told me that you guaranteed that you'd keep it for a year.
Keep it for a year.
6 months
Well, the
later.
reason why anyway, there's proof. We're burning them right there on the Main Street.
One of the dozers
Was
that
he?
pushed that.
Yeah. No laws in those days, and that was 72. But one of the reasons why I tore them down was because Hawthorne College was in town, and everybody in town cut their big houses up into little apartments so they could make money. And the Hollis house, the second one that you saw a picture of there, oh God, Skip Sudbury, poor guy, he's gone now. Skip Sudbury and I walked up, well, I'll step back. Bob Allison came over and said, well, they're throwing all the petitions in your house out my window, you know, out the window onto my property. So I went over and looked, and there was all the petitions over towards Bob's house. And so Skip and I went up in there. They had no clue. That's when I think pot really started to come into the area. We're walking through, and the smoke is so thick you couldn't see each other. And so I went back and I gave everybody a note. You got 6 weeks to get out. You know, I'm gonna tear it down. That's what I did. Burn it right. Oh, I was on the fire department, so I borrowed a fire truck from Wood and Sudbury. And got 2 or 3 firemen and a couple of cases of beer, and we sat there and burned That's a picture of us. That's back in '68, May 9th. That's Bobby Wood, Mary Ellen Cutter, and myself.
Charlie's.
Charlie in the back.
Charlie what?
Charlie's in the back.
Oh, don't forget Charlie. Gosh, poor guy. Yeah. Charlie was with me 24 years. Mary Ellen was with me 24 years. Evelyn, you're in there? You in there or not? You didn't go to that party. Did you? This was the 25th anniversary of our class. We graduated in '53. Arthur Allison, David Chamberlain, Bill Bizarro, Sally Martell, myself, Sally Page, Gary Cutter, Jackie Roach, and Barry Claflin. That was a suit I graduated from high school in, too. She couldn't fit it on again. This was a Marita, poor Marita. She's gone, but I'll tell the story. She'll probably come down on me. This is the Lions, I believe, gave away a shop. Yeah, the Lions Club gave away $300 for a shopping spree at Wayno's, and Rita had to come into my store the day before because she didn't shop in there. She had to find out where she could pick up $300 worth of stuff in 3 minutes. Here we go. These are 2 Martell girls. Karen, Robin, Peter, Cheryl, Cindy, myself. The meat cutter was missing that day, so I put a turkey up there. Mary Ellen and my son Todd. Sorry, Bob. The bank moved out of my place. Left me with an empty building. This is kind of before when we built the building. I think you had a picture of in there. Anyway, I'll explain this picture. The bank moved out, so I didn't know what I had an empty spot, 36 by 50 feet. So I started another restaurant, and I was doing really good. Big problem was that I was working 10 hours in the grocery store, and it was over here, and every once in a while we'd get really busy, and I'd take a bunch of girls out of the grocery store and over here waiting on tables and cooking and whatnot. I think I ran it about 6 or 8 months, and I said, oh, I'm sick of this. So I tore off a big piece of meat paper off a roll, wrote on the front of it saying, closed for restorations, open soon, go down the front door, and I went to Florida. That's just some pictures of restoring the building. Oh, when we tore down the buildings, we saved one barn, which is the A-frame of the Antrim Marketplace over here now. And that was Everett Davis's barn, and Everett Davis used to be the mailman in Antrim, and he used to deliver mail with horses, and so he had horse stalls in there, and he never shoveled them out, or he died and never shoveled them out, so when I moved the building over, I had about that much shoveled out and rebuilt it, and put my store in there. Ryan building, what year did you come?
80, we opened in 87, got here in 86. Yeah, opened in 87.
So this is the beginning of the rainbow. And luckily, after I closed the restaurant where I went to Florida, Doug came along with his buddy, Mark Ryan, and they gave me money and thank God.
We borrowed it from Bob.
So that was 1987. It was the beginning of Rainbow, which was great. What, 18 years worth?
16 in Antrim, yeah.
16 in Antrim. This is part of the foot. This is part of the foot race. I sponsored a foot race for 11 years in the town. And it really worked out good. In 1 year we had 500 runners. That was the most we had. 466 runners. And I think we started the first year with 139 runners or something like that. And it always worked good. Weeks Dairy came up and gave away ice cream. All the companies would give me something to give to the runners. And without Sandra right here, I couldn't have done it. She did all I did was run. She did all the paperwork. Right here was Antrim's 200, which was 77. And the men in Antrim grew beards. And I didn't do anything from February till the foot race day or whatever day it was. I didn't shave. I've shaved every day since. I won the beard contest and they gave me $7 silver. That's what I got. So, never do that again.
From the bank?
That was terrible. This is just a group of people that ran.
Here it is. I got it.
There were quite a few people. This was kind of the finish coming down, not the finish, the beginning, about the first mile and a half, where the runners had thinned out and the front runners were down in here. This was after the race, and you can see we had quite a bit of beer. We were giving them cases of beer. This was the first ambulance in Antrim back in 1980. Antrim got their first ambulance and had no place to put it, and so I built a garage for them under my store, and they stored their ambulance under there until the Antrim Fire Department, new Antrim Fire Department was built. And I don't know what, I can't remember what year that was. But anyway, I stored their ambulance for quite a while. That's just pictures of in front of the town hall where we started. And as you can see, we had quite a group of runners. That's Barry Frosh, my brother-in-law, who was killed back in '92 in a car accident. That's Neil Shabby. That's Gilmore. Where's the Gilmore? There you are. That's your boy. Not you. You're in there though, don't get nervous. There's Chuck McLean, Timmy Nay. I'm not sure. Shabby again. There's Lyman Gilmore. There's Pat Weber, Benny Pratt. Is that Chucky again?
That's okay.
Oh, Lord, you know what that is. He came down to every race. Oh, I think I was partying the night before.
Looks like he
The
sweated.
fire department, this particular year here, the fire department came down and they had a water hose going over the main street. Never had to ask anybody, we just did what we wanted to. It was right at the junction of 202 and 31, so all the traffic that was going through town said, what's going on? And they got wet when they came through. We soaked them all. Yeah, that was another night I had a party.
Always looked like he was dying.
When I sold my business, I was kind of lost for a while, so I went to Vermont, up to Fairleigh, Vermont. And these are four of the ladies I worked with. They were nice.
What are they doing Halloween?
Well, you can see we had a good time. This is what I used to, in 1971, I bought a motorhome, and it cost me $15,000, and I thought my wife was going to die. She just cost more than a house. There's the postcards. That's the inside of the Greystone Lodge before it burned. There's a Wombeck before it burned. That's Annie Florey's store, which was across the road where the parking lot is now, next to Antrim Marketplace is right here. This was torn down in 1948, and they saved all of the lumber in that building because after World War II there wasn't any lumber, and so when they tore that down they saved it all. In Antrim Marketplace, the first 69 feet of it is built out of that building there, and then Joe Pete's gas station was in between. That was built out of this building also. And a lady, I don't know who owned the building, but Annie Florey used to have a fruit shop right in there. That's all I can remember. This is Cutter's Old Market down the street, and I was good at tearing buildings down in Antrim. Jim Rhymes, Herb Nielsen, and another person I can't remember, and myself. This was Cutter's Market down where the parking lot is by the beauty salon now. And we bought that and we tore it down. This was Cutter's Market, this was a barber shop, and this was American Legion overhead. And the Boy Scouts, when I was a Boy Scout, I used to meet up there. And we bought that and tore it down. And the reason we did that is because the library had no parking. They didn't have the parking they get out back now. And so we bought that and tore it down and gave it to the town of Antrim for a parking lot for the library.
No, was that Dodge City?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Dodge
I
City.
was trying to, yeah.
Oh, down on, right across from Goodle Company office, right across from Avenue A, on the Goodle Company building where the kids meet down there. Does everybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Halfway down the hill. Goodle Company is right here, and this is Route 202, where it is right now. And this garage was sitting right across from the Goodle Company office, in the side of that hill. This is the top side of it. This is up on Depot Street. This is Depot Street. I used to live on Depot Street. Martin Nichols did too. And he's the one that told me. Martin, what'd you say the name of that road was? The road that goes up over the hill?
Pitch. They called it the pitch.
Pitch.
Anyway, there used to be a road just the other side that went over. High Street came down, went across 202 and went up over that road. And when we were kids, we'd start way up the top of the hill on High Street on a double runner. And John Drake was big, and he was always the guy in the front steering it. It would fit 12, 15 of us. we'd make 2 trips a night. It was about 2.5 mile trip, and then we walked back up and go down again. And when we got down to the foot of the hill, where 202 was, and you just shoot right across. There weren't any cars anyway, so we shoot right across the road, and we'd end up down to the town dump. In those days, now it's a landfill. So anyway, and this is just beyond this garage. This is the old Carter house. This is before my day. I used to live right. This is where Dick Edmonds lives now. And just beyond this, there was a house, which is the house that Dick Edmonds is in now. They took and moved it off this bank. When the state came through and made the road wider, this disappeared. And the house was there, and they moved the house down under Dick Edmonds' cellar hole. The cellar hole was the old Carter house. That used to be like an inn in Antrim. But again, I don't know what year it burned. That's Main Street, where the bank is right now. Ashland, see the fence? Love to see that come back on the
Where the
main
post
street of
office-
Antrim.
Post office is there. Not the bank.
Oh, okay. Post office and police department.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Told you I'd forget something.
We're helping.
This is just a view from my store. When I lived over Rick and Diane's, I bought it in '59, and in '65 I purchased this piece of property across the water. And I didn't have time to go to the bank that day, so I called the Hillsborough Bank and John Childs and Walter Taft, and I said, I want to buy the house across the way. And he said, how much they want for it? And I said, $12,000. He says, okay, I'll put the money in your account, and next time you come over, you can sign the papers.
Oh, my God.
Oh, this is Main Street. That's C.S. Woods, where Edmonds is now. That's Girdle Company. Everybody in Girdle Company, somebody told me they took those pictures every year, but I only ended up with this one. My mother's right there.
Martin's in there.
Martin's in
No, he's
there.
not in there.
Oh, he says he is.
No, he hasn't gone to work there yet. We figured that out the other day.
Yeah. A couple
This was
years
before you. You had to believe, right? These are all the high mucky bucks in Antrim.
What year is that, Wayno? Do you know?
Says 50.
1950.
It's the 75th anniversary of the Girdle Company.
Is Carol Johnson in there?
There's a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
Real Johnson.
That's the day the firehouse burned. Then the firehouse sent a spark up over and landed on Edmonds' store on the 3rd floor. And that's Edmonds. That's Proctor's old building. I used to live right here. When I came back into town, I lived in that apartment.
Gladys Tewksbury lived above you.
Yeah, Gladys Tewksbury lived over here, this side.
Merrill Brooks.
Back in, when the college was in session, I purchased 3 of these signs. I still have one that Gordon Weber saved for me. College stole the one that I put up on. I don't know what happened to the other one. It was done by Tenney's. I think Tenney's got it. This is the wood bank. There's There's a couple of girls that are here now, working hard. I can't remember what year we started that, but where are my girls? Where's, oh, there you are. You know?
I don't know, no.
Anyway, they're still doing it. I went by there yesterday and they've got enough wood for the winter. They don't have it all in the building yet, but they've got enough wood. Brian Brown.
Yay.
Yeah. He was on duty as a police officer there getting paid. Nick Edmonds. Oh, here we are, Bob. Here we are. They didn't have anything to do with $100,000, so they gave it to me to build a bank and charge me interest. Walter Taft wouldn't have. That was 1974. And the bank was where Rhineborn was, before Rhineborn, the bank was there for 11 years. That's when I was on the Bank of Trustees in Hillsborough for the Bank of New Hampshire. Yeah, Punk Weston, Andy Lane, Dick Edmonds, Alberto, Weston, Ken Chandler, Phelps, and Eaton. George and I were put on at the same time. He needed a haircut. I was for a, yeah, Wayne. I'll be laughing. I think if you read the whole thing, you'd find that says that the state or the government wanted to make ramps for people so they could get around better, and I was the first one in New Hampshire to do it. There we are again, Bob.
Jane Hill wrote that, huh?
Mary McRory, go back to Mary. She wrote for the Boston Post, I mean for the Washington Post. And she used to vacation in the Maplehurst Inn. And if you read this whole thing, you'll find out where she really loved Edmund's store and Wayno's store. And I just found out a week or so ago that she's buried. She's buried in the Maplewood Cemetery. Yeah. She was a nice lady. She was a nice lady because she wrote good things about me. This is Charlie Gilmore and I. We ref basketball games, and I think if you read down through there, it says that that's why the girls' basketball team did so well that year in Antrim. Hard to believe.
There were no laws back then.
Okay, get off. Oh, this is just, we used to have, Rhineborn had like 15 years in a row. We had parties at my farm. We'd have as many as, at one time we had 8 live bands. Yeah. They'd play for a half, 3/4 an hour, hit the beer truck. We had a lot of people up there.
Wayno, we used to hear them down in West Dealing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we went. One band came, Jerry, whatever his last name was. Well, a cat came in a motorhome and he stayed for 2 weeks. He was plugged into my electrical. Did Debbie come? Debbie and,
Is that Deb Brown?
yes, Debbie Brown letting herself go. Play volleyball. That was in back of my barn, I just threw those in. There's a moose out in my field. Whoops.
Is that the fire department that's gonna get you down?
Have to think why that was taken. Yeah, he was. What magazine was that for?
He's not saying a word.
No, no.
Nor,
No, that's Kate.
oh, is that Kate? Oh, Kate, I don't know. Well, that's one of my grandchildren.
Oh, my goodness.
He's my oldest grandson. He's
31?
31 now. Yeah. He's 6'4". Gary Stacy took that picture and gave it to me. That was before the bank,
Yeah.
right after I tore down the buildings. Rita Allison's house is there. That house is gone. But it's a good picture of the main street. Oh! As long as they last, I want you to take cups and t-shirts. I've got over 500 t-shirts. So I brought a few down. And these cups are left over from when my mom was still kicking, and we were throwing them out on a parade, and we got those were left over, and those have been in my garage forever and ever and ever. So I ran them all through the dishwasher.
Wayno, thank you. This was absolutely terrific.